Well, that wasn't recorded, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's start rolling. Who's got something good to share? Let's get some bucket fills. Miss Robin, hang on one second. Let's get it. Let's let the world hear you.
Hey guys, so my son is graduating this weekend from high school. So step one to a bigger career of knowledge.
Awesome. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. But I will have a captive audience at NRG. So I already have little promo cards about empty nesters and buying houses.
You should always be lead generating. Always be lead generating.
I
That's
want
great.
to welcome this young boy. Is a good young man. Yes, gentlemen. And this is his first team meeting. He just joined KW.
Awesome. Congratulations. Welcome here.
His name is Keith Prasad.
Welcome to the family, my friend. Yes, absolutely. Welcome to the family. All right. Who's got something else good?
I closed my first buyer transaction and referral transaction.
Awesome. Look at that. 2 in 1 go. How hard was the referral?
It was easy.
Oh, really? What'd you have to do? What'd you have to do?
Oh, well, it was a very good friend of mine and she called me and she said, I know you're going to help me out with this. And
Uh-huh.
so I didn't
I
really
gotcha.
know how to find the agent in College Station,
Uh-huh.
but I Googled KW agents in College
Mhm.
Station, started reading the reviews and contacted this guy and liked him a lot. So I referred.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then it was done. Then they took
And
it
it
over
was
from there,
done.
right? And then all of a sudden you got a check. That is the best part, right? I do need to show you the referrals applet in Command, though. Don't forget, we have it built in. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Something good, something pertinent.
I went to a family reunion this weekend and met 109 of my cousins who I've never seen in my life. And I actually met a client of mine who's also my cousin, but we had never met in person, so we'd only talked on the phone.
Did you know it was your cousin when you were?
When I met him, no, I didn't know. he was-
Yeah.
He's like my second or third cousin, because my grandfather has 11 siblings.
Okay.
And then it's down that line.
I gotcha.
Anyway, I never met him, but I met his wife many times, but I never met him in person. So it's the first time I met him and he, we had conversations. Anyway, it was cool.
Did you do a bold 100 when you met 109 people?
I did.
All right.
It might have not been the same day.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Okay. I got you. Okay. All right. Good deal. Nice. Good job. Anybody else?
Anybody else have 109?
Yeah. Oh, I went to an Indian wedding. I had way more than that.
I have
Yeah.
40,
I had like
I
600.
have 47 first cousins,
Oh.
sorry, 54 first cousins.
Wow.
First cousins, both my parents are siblings of 12 each. And 2 of their siblings each had 12 kids, girls, all girls.
Wow.
A lot of real estate.
That's-
It's a lot of.
Yes. Yes.
Referrals that we got.
Working on
Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Anybody online? Anything good to share? All right. All right. Well, let's rock and roll. All right. Upcoming events. Do not forget. Tech 306090 is starting on June 5th, the next Monday. Okay. So I'll go into some details in a second. And piggybacking off that, especially if you're new, we have a beginner's guide to command workshop series that Norman's going to do starting on the 7th. So you can actually leverage both of those to really start getting your technology side of your business rocking and rolling. Okay. We do have now it's our announcement for welcome to the welcome summer. The offsite team meetings are going to start happening that we normally do during the summertime. So we've got any dates or anything on there? Oh, I thought they were there before. It comes up.
There's a flyer.
Oh, I got you. Okay. And then every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 8:30, there is the Donuts and Dialogue. So do not forget that. All right. Once again, Tech 306090 starts on Monday, June 5th. So what is MAPS 306090? It is a high accountability technology program that KW MAPS, our coaching division of Keller Williams, has come out with. It's the first time they're doing a technology-based one. So it's going to teach you how to implement Command and all of its applets into your business at a high level. Now it's broken down over 90 days. So you're going to actually be taking it slowly, one piece at a time. That way you can really hone in on it and implement it. Okay. There's going to be accountability where you're going to be submitting the information that you've done it. It's a 30-minute session, Monday through Friday, okay? Every single day, Monday through Friday for 30 minutes, beginning at 10:30 in the morning, 10:30 to 11. Now, that's a lot. I understand that now. So if you happen to miss one, you're going to have access to the archived content so you can go back and catch up. Okay, Norman's workshop can also help you, catch up or do that or get some support for that. In addition to that, I've thought about that I will have Saturday workshops every Saturday or Sunday workshops every couple of weeks throughout this process. That way you guys can come in, get extra benefits, extra leverage to help implement this. Okay. Again, there is a cost factor to this that the Market Center has taken. All right. So we're investing in you to help you grow your business. The idea of this is to implement the technology that you can leverage to help grow your business and grow your GCI. Okay, help grow your gross commission income. Yes, dear.
Did I just hear you say that you're gonna take time? Did I just hear you say you're gonna take time away from your family on a Saturday or Sunday just to come in for us?
That sounds really bad, but yes.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. That's
Absolutely.
amazing.
Absolutely. We will do that. That's what we will do that for you.
So
guys,
those of
okay?
you who are in bold, we have about, what, 2 more classes or sessions left? So
Right.
you still have an opportunity to participate in this. Don't allow that to deter you from signing up.
Yes, absolutely no cost to you. This is taught by 2 MAPS coaches. One is actually head of MAPS technology. And so this is the top of the game to help you implement this into your business. You do see the QR code up here that's been up here. You got an email yesterday. It's also on the Facebook group. And you might have gotten more than one text yesterday. My apologies. It was a slip. That's my fault though. At the same time, that's how badly I wanted you to take it. All right. So there should not be an excuse if I did not see the link or please register. Okay. Start someone. Yes, Robin, all 5 of them. I did not send it 5 times for the record. All right. And then again, Norman's Beginning Guide to Command workshop series. It starts on June 7th in the afternoon, 1 to 1:30. It's going to be in the Internet Cafe and on Zoom. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Norm?
No, just keep watching for the rest of the classes coming up. It's very slowed down. Very
Entry level,
slowed.
slow paced at entry level. Okay. Okay. We've had some requests for that, right? So great.
I'd like to highlight dual career agents. Make sure that you're participating in that if you haven't had an opportunity to come up here and work through Command itself.
Mhm.
I might as well just keep the mic, just move. Look, y'all, I don't get to mess with him as much. So, team meetings are my time. No. Okay, so as they mentioned, did you want to introduce me? Oh, okay.
No, you
You
don't need introduction though.
I do. People don't know me. Okay, so as Namesh mentioned, it is summertime and we want to keep this activity going. And one of the ways that we do that is we take you offsite. So we pack up our stuff and we go to a couple of different locations throughout the Fort Bend area to help build your knowledge, to build your expertise when it comes to this market. So take note of these dates and more information will be coming. On June 14th, we're going to be in Siena. We'll tell you exactly which model to meet us at. July 12th, we're going to learn a little bit more about Sugar Land's history at the Sugar Land Heritage Museum, which is right there located by the Children's Museum here in Sugar Land. And then August 2nd, we're at Cross Creek West. We have a lot of goodies and activities and information for you on these dates. So make sure you take heed of that and we will see you there. So if you show up on these dates here, you're in the wrong spot.
You could Zoom it if you wanted to, if you were here though.
No, it's harder. Those are live only.
Okay, we're not gonna, I mean, we're.
In
okay,
person only,
person
yeah.
only. Oh, Barb, okay, all right, okay, I hadn't gotten the memo yet, but we're good. All right, you were gonna come up, oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Come on up, bud.
Really briefly.
Yeah. No, not brief.
Slowly.
Yes.
Hey, really quickly, guys, as you say, slowly. Just a reminder, we have donuts, dialogues, and dialing. I still don't have it down. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So this is not just PC related, this is for anyone. So we will have donuts in there. We have scripts ready to go. Today we're doing sphere scripts and best vendor scripts. So talking to business vendors, referring business to vendors, and they refer you business. That could be an AC guy, could be an inspector, could be a title person. We also did a Sphere Ford script today. And then we'll do lead gen right after that, okay? So just come join us. Again, it doesn't have to be new agents. Yes, sir, go for it. Nice.
These scripts, the dialogues.
Yes.
Will, I mean, if for whatever reason, if you're not part of that meeting, can we have access to them? Can you share those?
Yeah,
scripts?
I mean, you could walk into the lead gen right now room and they're
Okay,
printed
awesome.
out.
Thank
Mhm. So I usually print out about 10 of each and we will switch up the scripts every week. So last week we started with for sell by owners and expireds. This week we're doing kind of Sphere related. So vendors, people in your database, circle prospecting around your neighborhood. And then next week we'll switch it up again. But yeah, if anyone, and I'm working on, again, not just for PC necessarily, but I'm working on some little container thingies for scripts. So we could just always have those there. Yes, ma'am.
See, but I heard that.
What you hear?
Scripts are not
What you
good
hear?
because it's not,
Natural.
I heard scripts are not good because it's not natural and
Who
it's
told you
not
that?
really.
Was Chad telling you that?
Barbara told me.
Barbara told you that. No, I know that's not true because I sat in on Barbara's recruiting appointments and she got it down. No, so here's the thing with scripts, guys. So we hear Chad talking about going from E to P, right? So especially as new agents, we tend to just kind of do things on the fly and that'll work to a certain extent. And then your business will hit a ceiling at some point. And that's when you have to get purposeful. And part of being purposeful is using scripts. So especially as new agents, guys, or even agents that have been here for a year or two, being purposeful about what's coming out of your mouth is how you get more business, right? And you'd be surprised. When Tara was doing expired scripts, I would intern just from hearing her alone, I would internalize it, and I could probably do a decent expired call if I had to. And you'd be surprised when you have those conversations, those words come out, and you're like, oh, I just said that, right? And you're like. And you sound purposeful, you sound professional, so I highly recommend it.
And prepared.
And prepared, yes.
Preparation
the
is a
Ps.
big P on there.
There you
Yeah. That's what makes it sound natural and not like us.
So y'all join us, guys, okay?
Yeah, that's awesome. That room should be packed.
Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 8:30 to 9, and lead gen from 9 to 11.
Awesome.
Morning.
Well, let's keep the ball rolling. Come on up, Madam President. ALC ma'am.
Hey,
Right on.
hello. So we got a text message. I'm LaDonna Parker with the Agent Leadership Council, ALC. So we got this text message asking if anybody had anything that they could just share with the group. For some reason, Holy Spirit said, okay, it's your time. So, and I'm gonna read this quickly because it may be more than a minute. What I want to share at a time like this is stay ready so you don't have to get ready. How many of you have heard that before? You heard? Yeah, it's a good one. So I'm going to give you the real estate practitioner version of it. So number one, with your sellers, you want them to know their value. So when they're saying, okay, we're going to meet in 6 months, say, yeah, that's fine, but let's have a meet now so you can know what your asset is worth. And then you make sure that they have that home ready to show, and you help them watch the market. And that's important because you never know in a market that's still shifting when it might be time to go. So stay ready so you don't have to get ready. With your buyers, get them pre-approved and keep them pre-approved. They need to just stay pre-approved, just keep it current, right? Keep building their credit if that's what they're, even if they have good credit, tell them, just get it great. Just do what you have to do. And you want to make sure they have your app or the HAR app so that they can watch the market with you, because their dream home may come up. And guess what? If they stay ready, they won't have to get ready. Even with leases, we all know leases have a place in people's lives. So with that, you have them do the credit and background check right away and have their documents ready so that they stay ready so you don't have to get ready, and you know who and what you're working with, right? With your investors, you want them to have their pre-approval letters and our proof of funds. A lot of them pay cash, right? You want to have that information. You also want to know what special financing programs are available. Educate them on those, because I think Dale has one, right? So you make sure that they stay ready, so they don't have to get ready. And for our real estate practitioners yourselves, you want to stay on top of the market because it is shifting. You want to have your e-card ready. I mean, if I have an e-card when I'm out there meeting people, everybody in here should have one,
What's an e-card, Ms. LaDonna?
right? It's that thing where you can just,
It's
it's
right,
my
though. That's right.
professional business card.
How
It-
many of you do not have an e-card? It's okay, you can raise your hand. Don't be bashful if you don't. All right, well, I promise you, every single one of you do, because it's built into the command app. All right, so make
Right.
sure we show you how to access that.
And that last note on staying ready, so you don't have to get ready, besides having that card. As when you tell somebody you are a real estate professional, what's the first thing they ask you? How's the market? So you want to be ready to have an inspiring answer to that question at all times. That's the scripts.
Mhm.
You put
Right.
that in your scripts too. So make sure that we stay ready so you don't have to.
Get ready.
And that's our ALC minute
Awesome.
message for today.
Thank you. And your answer to that question better not be, it's crazy. Right? The answer to the market, how's the market, better not be, it's crazy.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
but we got this under control. What you need?
You got it. All right, productivity coaching.
Good job, LaDonna.
That was awesome.
LaDonna, I appreciate you. Did a good job.
We appreciate your leadership.
So,
You have something?
yeah, on the PC. Just a reminder, guys, tomorrow we have, what's that?
Slide, did you have a slide?
Oh, slide, no. Tomorrow we have our PC happy hour. So we're doing our competition starting up, kick off summer. So I'll have more details for you guys in the PC group as far as what the contest entails and what we'll be tracking, but we will be tracking obviously signed agreements, listings, open houses, contacts. Hopefully my intention is to make it kind of like almost like a little mini bold as far as results that come out of it, right? We will have our kickoff happy hour tomorrow at Lopez from 5 to 7, and that's the Lopez on Richmond at 99. Okay, so I'll shoot you all a text as well, just as a reminder.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yep.
Cool. So you're rendered speechless now? Oh my God, that's a first. That's what I'm saying. All right. Okay. So before we get going on the main content, I'm super excited about a feature that got released today. In fact, 306090 got pushed a couple of weeks because of this feature coming out. Now, this feature in Command, we've been clamoring for since the beginning, and it's finally here. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I spotlighted that first. Okay, so it has to do with filtering your contacts and your database. And prior to this, it was actually a pretty simple filtering. And when you pull up filtering, there's a new design now, but there was limiting factors in you being able to filter your database and your contacts. Well, that has changed now. As of yesterday, there is now advanced filtering options. So if you look and you click on filtering on the top right-hand side, you see the advanced button. Now, when you get into this advanced button, it's going to actually look pretty simple. Yet now it's going to be so flexible. Now you can put multiple parameters in to filter your database. So first, where? Let me give you a simple one first. We can come in and say, okay, birthdays. How many of your databases are missing birthdays? Like you have some people that have birthdays, but there's a bunch that don't. Well, who does and who doesn't? I mean, you can scroll through all your contacts to see who does and who doesn't, who does or who doesn't. Or you can come in here and say birthday is empty and hit apply, and it'll give you all your contacts that are missing birthdays. Now you can do the same thing for email. You can do the same thing for phone number. So now you can pull up here and just say, okay, email address is empty. Okay, or even a personal address, like your property addresses are empty, right? And you can say primary address. Either it contains, so if you're filtering for a specific word, you can say contains or does not contain, or is empty and search for it. And now you'll have all your contacts that don't have addresses. You can select them all, add them to a smart plan that says obtain address, and then you're going to start getting the replies for the address. That's still pretty simple. What if we wanted to get a little more advanced? So we could say tag. Okay. We can say a tag. Getting hidden under the thing. So I can say tag. Thanks for that filler, Barbara. All right. And it includes any tag that says, and I'm going to pick a tag here. I think there's KWSW because I'm on Norman's account. All right. I can say all agents. Now I can go deeper though. I can say add another filter, and I can say this one could be also tags. But now it says, yet it excludes. So it can be this tag, everybody that's this tag, but is not this tag. So you can get really detailed in the filtering.
That's very useful, especially when you create tags that you forget that you created like 2 years ago. But you know it has some element in it. So it allows you to search that and then you can create all.
Right. And your options here are, well, you can say whatever it is, and it includes any of those, or you could say includes all of those, or it excludes any of those, excludes all of those, or is missing, or is not missing. So if you wanted to send a text message to everybody that had phone numbers, you could just do phone and is not empty, and it'll give you every contact that you have phone numbers for. And it'll take out all the ones that don't. This is awesome. What's up, Israel?
And guys, how easy would that be a forward conversation for people that are missing their birthdays? Sort them, who's missing them, quick call. Hey, Nimish, this is Israel Flores, Keller Williams. Just giving you a call. I would love to keep in touch and send you something special on your birthday. I don't have your birthday, man. Do you mind sharing that with me? Quick and easy, right?
October 17th, buddy. I'm expecting it.
So these dialogues are already created as drips, right? As campaigns, when no one stops you from using that dialogue to becoming your script, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So take advantage of this. This is huge. I know there's some of our producing agents that for a long time this was a limitation, that we couldn't get advanced on the filtering of our contacts, and now it's there. Okay. So that's how you see. Corinne is so excited, right? Okay, so I got a roar from that. So again, come on in and get into here, utilize this. This will be shown how to use this at a high level in Tech 306090. Okay, all right, cool. I'm super excited for this, so I had to share it now. All right, thank you, Norman. Appreciate the pivot. Okay. Let's get into today's topic, and it pulled out of this little book here that Chad likes to share with us that none of us ever pay attention to, right? The Shift book. So again, this is coming straight from Tactic 7 as an update. So we have plenty of copies right now. So if any of you guys want to grab one afterwards, they are available. We got a whole new stock in, so make sure you take advantage of that. All right, 7 maxims for pricing. As we've been consulting here recently, I've been getting a lot of questions about pricing strategies and a challenge that agents are facing regarding strategically pricing a property versus seller expectations. And it's still right now hard to judge where we can price a property strategically, because the sellers sometimes have other expectations from what the market is showing us. And sometimes it's even harder to dictate what the market is showing us right now, because we're in a transition, right? So before we even get into that, how many of you have seen an uptick in business this month? Yeah, there's a lot of hands going up because we have seen it. How many of you actually feel like maybe we're going back to the whole cyclical industry that we were used to pre-pandemic, which kind of disappeared during the pandemic? That could potentially be the case. I just wanted to make sure I highlighted this straight out of Shift, where this is a graph that's showing us what the cyclical real estate market looked like, where it would start picking up around March is when we started going up. And come May and June and July is when it was peak season. And then we saw a bit of a lull, and then it took back up it actually ticked quite a bit back up during the holidays. There's a chance we could be getting back to that. And that's why we're seeing the spike now, a lot more activity now, not only from the seller side, from the buyer side. Seller mindset. These are some of the questions that we are probably facing today. Right? My property is worth more than other competitors. I mean, I don't even think any kind of market actually ever changes that conversation, right? Yeah, right. My home can be sold as is without any kind of updates or any changes or any kind of staging. Lots of marketing and open houses will sell my house. Lots of marketing for your overpriced house is only screaming to everybody that, hey, look at my overpriced house. Right or right? I can't sell my home for what I need or want. So now we have an unmotivated seller maybe, right? I won't be able to buy when I sell my home. That's a challenge that we've faced here recently, right? Except that it's now maybe loosening a little bit. Right? It will take too long to sell my house. Well, it depends on the circumstances. And I don't want to have to fix everything. That's just a not seller mindset. Now, when it comes to us, this is the things that we have to understand. Whenever there's a misunderstanding, we need to educate more. Right? This is something that was part of your ALC minute a little bit, right? We need to educate to clarify the reality. And then any roadblocks that come into play, we need to provide more services to solve a problem. We need to be problem solvers. If there's a problem, we better have the solution.
We talked about that last week when we were looking at your value proposition. And even though you may be a seasoned professional, having to make sure that your message, your value is matching what the market is actually trying to receive, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought this was big too, right? Real estate done right is service, not sales. We are a service industry, first and foremost, even though we always say it's a sales industry. Yeah. Yes, Vamshi.
Yeah, the misunderstanding is very true because we have a listing going on right now. The expectation from our client is so high. So I just opened up all the comps, showed what's happening, and you're competing with the new builder, new construction. So we can put here, and there are 180 days plus houses that are, whatever you're expecting, they're not selling for over 6 months. And that's costing you a lot more money than trying to price it right. So they came to an understanding, even though they want to cut corners on few things, but they came to understanding that like, if you list it at this price, it's not going to be easy for them. So we agreed to a price which we will be listing in the next week.
That's awesome. See, that's perfect. Appreciate the feedback. And you're going to see what he just summed up is going to be resonating in the conversation that we're just about to have. Okay. It's about educating your clients. And that's exactly what he did. Thankfully, he was able to convert them into pricing it right. So let's start with number one. Be a student of your market. Know your numbers, right? Know the number of active listings out there. Study them. Know the number of pendings out there, right? What's the days on market? That is the key number right now. What is the days on market? So if you have a property that's at a particular price point or that's either sitting there, what is the days on market right now? Price adjustments is one that sometimes gets overlooked when you're studying the market to comp out a listing. You see an active listing or a pending listing, but did you go study the number of adjustments they made? So if you're seeing a high days on market, well, how many adjustments did they make? Did they even make any? Oh, yes, Tanya.
This is so true because I had a listing appointment yesterday, and I mean, I know my numbers. If I go in, I'm going to study my numbers. In Pearlands, the listing appointment is 186 active. I'm going to know exactly how many pending, and what I showed them is how many of the arrows that went down. It's all printed out. So you saw all those price reductions and how many days on market that you had. It was serious. Now on the last page, I'll put my price, but before we even get there, I'll find out from you, what were you thinking about selling? What did you want to net? So when you know your numbers, and I don't know these people, it was a referral from a referral to our acquaintance. So, I mean, you have to have your A game on, and yes, they did sign the listing agreement. They got it. But it's just, you have to go in there confident and know your when you know your numbers, you know your pending, your days on market, you can tell them what's going on in the neighborhood next to it, all around the area, they're going to be impressed.
Yeah, love it. Thank you. Yes.
How many of you do open houses? How many of you do open houses? So that, you want to have that information at an open house because often as many neighbors will come to check you out. And that is one of the easiest ways to pick up a listing. That's to be present and accounted for and know your numbers in that community.
Yeah, because you never know in that open house if those buyers or, they could be sellers, or they're probably sellers too. And they're probably checking out how you are conducting the service that you could be providing them, right? Yes, Corinne.
Yeah, there's one very important report always include, and this one is the price of inventory.
Mhm.
So they want to know how long does it take for their home to sell,
Absolutely.
to get it sold when you price it right.
Mhm. Yes, again, these are suggestions. These are examples. It's not everything. Okay. Neighborhood statistics is another one. If you're going to plan on geographically farming an area, know those numbers. If you're going to be going into an event or a neighborhood activity, when people realize that you're in real estate, what do they ask you? LaDonna just asked, right? Or mentioned it. How's the market? Or tell me about the market. Well, you better have studied the neighborhood stats so you can start spewing them out, educating the audience, right? Educating your clients. And if you've got your license in the last 2 years, within the last 2 years, sometimes it was simple as sticking a sign in the yard and you had a line out the door. Well, this is old-fashioned work that was required of you when you had a listing, and we're coming back to that. So it takes work. All right, number 2. This is huge. Focus your main comps on actives. Sometimes pendings and solds may not tell you the full story, especially we're still at an inventory shortage, right? So if to pull certain number of comps in a certain neighborhood, you may have to go a little further back. Well, that may not tell the full story. The market could have been different because it's changing every day right now and it's adjusting every single day. So the actives might actually be telling a bigger story than the solds. What's the active pricing at? What is the days on market of the active listings? If you looked at your sold comps and it showed you, I'm just going to use price per square foot as an example, $130 per square foot. And so that's what you're comping out. Yet the 2 on the market that are active, been sitting on the market for 26 days at $118 a square foot. Now, obviously condition matters, but what's the likelihood you might pull 130 right now? So that's some of the factors that you have to take into account. All right, be a student of the property. Preview these properties. The big thing is understanding what is selling and why. What features are working, right? What conditions are working? What's not working? These are huge factors in which you have to study when you're taking these listings on your preparation. We talked about preparation with Israel, right? So what is selling and why? Study the individual properties and then the comp property. So it's not just pulling pricing when it comes to comping. It's dissecting and studying each of these properties on an individual basis. Corinne's got something. And then you can chime in. Vernon.
So Nimesh was talking about understanding what is selling and why. So I have taken listing like do not have bedroom up downstairs, like all the bedroom are upstairs. So we are in Fort Bend County. Obviously, we are dealing with a lot of multicultural clients.
Mhm.
So a lot of them would want to have a bedroom downstairs. So when you price a home, you might have to consider that may not be selling that, may not be one of the, compared to others probably out there.
Yeah, that's a challenge you're facing that you have to, right, understand, because now all of a sudden your buyer pool has shrunk. So that is something that you absolutely have to take into account when you're doing these calculations.
I was just reiterating the point that, you go back to the basics in a shifted market, right? And when you're first starting off, either Ignite, if you were trained somewhere else, or here, Calibre, they tell you about previewing 10 homes every single week. Well, it's the same situation. Even though you're seasoned and you might be in your own farm, it's easier when you're in your own farm if you've been there and you've recognized the differences with each type of home within a specific section. But even these seasoned neighborhoods are starting to expand and buyers are starting to go beyond the regular. So getting back out there and studying what's the inventory that's actually in this market, regardless of if it's somewhere you've been farming or not, is very critical for you to know, because these subtle differences on what made this home sell in 5 days when everything else is sitting on the market could be something you can't see in HAR.
Absolutely. And as these master plan communities keep expanding and they become larger and larger, a lot of factors come into play, right? Like age comes into play. The different sections may have different price points. And when you're overlapping those, that could be something that you need to put is a factor that you need to calculate. So absolutely. Mentioned earlier by Vamshi, the new construction, if you're battling new construction, that is an added challenge because now you have to find the gap of where a consumer is going to see value. Number 4, keep your presentation as current as possible. Let your ongoing research do the talking. So as you are doing all this research and prepping, make sure you're updating all your material to current numbers. Show off the work that you're putting in, because I promise you, not all agents are doing it. A huge tool that I wanted to make sure that I highlighted again is CMA Snap that all you guys have access to. I threw the QR code in there just in case any of you are new and have not actually accessed it yet. CMA Snap, it should be in all of your presentations because it breaks down all of the numbers that you can utilize for conversion. So to break this down a little further, master the pricing. When we're talking about comparables, location, size, amenities, conditions, factor all of it, right? Factor in when it's sold or when it went pending, so days on market, and then make sure you're taking into account the active listings as mentioned earlier. You might have to up the comps a little bit. The rule in Shift was 5-5-5, right? 5 sold comps, 5 under contract comps, and 5 active comps. And utilize that method in getting your pricing. You can leverage CMA Snap to do that as well. And don't forget on CMA Snap that it does not have to be auto-generated, even though that is the initial easy tool to use. Stick an address, press a button, and it's going to spit out these numbers. It's dynamic. You can actually go in there and manually pick the comps you want. And then it will adjust the numbers accordingly. And then you can easily show it to your potential seller that, hey, this is all the data that I've broken down, and this is the reason why we should price it where it is. Pre-qualify for motivation. This is huge because we talk about finding your motivated buyers. It's the same conversation when we talk about motivated sellers. And straight out of Shift, I loved this line. Avoid sellers that are actually triers. Because they're just going to give you the runaround, right? You're going to be pricing high. They're not going to be listening to you. They're not going to take your advice into account. So that never becomes sold. They just hang out on the market because they're waiting around for a fictitious price point. And we already know that the longer it sits on market, that's not going to work. So find the sellers that need most to sell. We talked about the Ds in previous meetings, right? The 6 Ds. Any questions on this one or anything? Because it's big.
I have a comment.
Yeah, I would love that.
Sellers, what I do is I get them to agree that, okay, we can try your point. We can try your price point. It's a little high. We understand it's high. You know, it's easier to go down than to go up. So let's agree to one thing.
Okay.
We're going to try your way, your price for a week or 2 max. And then we're going to go to what the market is telling us to do, and we'll adjust downward strategically. And you'll get a sense of once, because sometimes people who are really, really triers, they'll agree to it. And when they won't make the adjustment, you really know what you're dealing with. In the meantime, you know, you're on the front end of marketing. So you get to show off your good stuff and strong marketing skills to other neighbors. And trust me, the neighbors are always watching.
I love it. It's awesome. And that you're foreshadowing actually, because that's about to come up, but I agree with you, right? Because there's two ways we can tackle this, and that's actually one of the strategies here. So let's get into that. Okay, price ahead of the market. Don't chase the market, let the market chase you. All right, don't chase the market. So right out of shift, there's a section in this. So if you're going to take anything out of this tactic, read the window of opportunity part. In fact, I think it's so powerful that I want to read something directly out of it that should stick. When a home first comes on the market, it attracts attention from those agents who are currently working with motivated buyers, or those agents who are motivated by the price to find one. If any agent or their buyer believes that a house is poorly priced, it loses its opportunity and doesn't draw their attention. Basically, it gets written off from the beginning. The first time someone sees a property, it's called a window of opportunity because it's the single best chance to create the impression that will sell the house. It is the best marketing message a seller can send. We're priced right and serious to sell. If a property isn't appropriately priced for the market from the outset, a seller will likely miss this important first. So that's huge. So don't chase the market, let the market chase you. Be the setter of the market. Price it strategically. So here, this is alluding to what Vamshi was talking about earlier that he overcame. Now, this is a great graph that you should actually show your sellers when you're having a price conversation. Your line here, this is the cost of overpricing in a stable market. Would you say we're in a pretty stable market now? You could argue that, yes, we are in a seller's market still due to inventory, yet it's not what it was 18 months ago or a year ago, okay? So your line that's coming across here is your fair market value, your market value of your home. Now, if you price it where it says number 2, higher than the market, then because the seller hopes of getting a higher initial price, will draw a higher offer. Well, what happens is that the market interest is highest in the first 2 to 4 weeks of the listing, and then it starts losing it. Case in point, what I just read earlier. And what happens then is we start making price adjustments. And as we're making price adjustments, the actual listing starts becoming stale. And so market psychology starts reducing its sellable price. So what's market psychology?
Something wrong with that. Like a stigma.
Stigma is the word to use. Absolutely. People start getting these misconceptions of what could be wrong. Yeah. Oh, it must have problems. Well, we just want to avoid it. Or even another one is reality is that, oh, the seller is unreasonable or is unreliable. Even if we agree on something, what is that transaction going to look like? So that's what starts happening. And so the actual market value of the property starts falling the longer it stays on market. So as we're adjusting price, next thing you know, we're actually below its original market value. And by the time we come to a sales price, the actual, right? So that as counterintuitive as it seems, just because you listed a home higher doesn't mean you're going to actually get a higher price. And that is the education piece that we need to give our sellers, especially the ones that have the unrealistic expectation. Utilizing this graph when you're having that conversation could do wonders for you. So you guys can grab this, okay? And we can also share it.
What page is that?
I could have it for you right here. Hang on, give me 1 second. Everybody's got a copy of this book, right? So we don't even need to keep any. Page 147. Yeah, page 147. Okay. Yeah, and a quote for this thing is, right, we're a race against time. The best price you'll get is the one you get now. If you wait, it's just going to be lower. And here's an example of why. Now, the numbers could vary, but it's showing you on average that if homes that have price reductions have a much higher days on market than ones that are priced strategically at fair market value. Huge difference. Yeah, so mathematically, they take 2 to 3 times longer to sell. All right, number 7. always secure price reductions in advance. So this is the point that Ms. LaDonna just brought up a few minutes ago. So here at 7, the big thing is, the big conundrum is to take or to not to take an overpriced listing. You could argue that there's no right or wrong answer to that. People have different philosophies. Some say that you're just wasting time from another listing. I'm not going to take an overpriced listing because the liability in terms of time, money, and reputation could be at stake. Other agents may have the philosophy that every listing is a good listing. Because even at worst, you're getting marketing opportunities, right? That shouldn't be ignored. And you can use the philosophy that LaDonna did, that, hey, we have a conversation. Just make sure that if you decide to take a listing that might be slightly higher, make sure you are prepared for it. Have the conversation in advance. Avoid falling behind the market. And have the conversation about price reductions in place at certain time periods to avoid that lengthy days on market. Remember, at the end of the day, you're trying to maximize the profit of the seller. And then, of course, there could be lending challenges. There could be lending challenges when you have an overpriced an overpriced listing, or if you go under contract. In fact, when Dale comes up here, he might actually share some of those, because him and I were having a conversation on not only could appraisals be an issue, but even approvals can be an issue when it comes to certain parameters and certain features. I wanted to throw this in here as well. LaDonna's laughing. If you do decide to take an overpriced market or overpriced listing, or the listing is sitting on the market, I promise you that this is going to be the journey of your sellers. So you better be prepared and navigate them through this. Heck, I might even show them this at the beginning, that you're going to be going through these stages. First, you're going to have denial on the pricing. Then you're going to get angry because it doesn't sell. Then you're going to start bargaining. Then you're going to get into a bit of a depression. And then you're finally going to accept the fact, what you should have accepted to begin with. And you probably lost a lot more money doing this.
Overpriced listing. So can I add something for you?
Absolutely, always.
So we are all business people, right? We're in the real estate business. And one of the things that we do is we make sure we know the market. So what you always want to do is make sure that you preview the other houses around. Because you can always sell that house to one family, right? You know, we sell it. But what about all the other people who are calling you on this list? And they want those Siena schools, they want those Riverstone schools. You make sure you know the other homes in the market. Your house may not be a fit, but when you can articulate the value proposition in a neighboring home, I mean, do you still get paid? Do you get to help people?
Absolutely.
And it may take you showing your house, but you get that buyer's representation, or if you have a team, right? You got that buyer, and that's how you leverage an overpriced listing. You don't want to have that mentality. You want to always focus on helping the people. But the best way you can help the people is to know your stuff, know your market, know the surrounding opportunities to show people. And the way you do that is you do your previews, whether it's for that open house, whether it's for the listing or what have you. It's always helpful to know the immediate surrounding market opportunity.
Amen. That was awesome. Thank you, Ms. LaDonna. I don't need to add anything to that. All right, so I thought this quote was also pretty powerful, so I wanted to close it out with it. And it kind of ties everything together. If someone is going down the wrong road, he doesn't need motivation to speed him up. He needs education to turn him around. So remember that. Guys, I hope that was value for you today. Here are the 7 maxims summed up. They are all right here in the Shift book. If you do not own this book, I recommend you get it and read it. Wait, was that for the book or for me? In the book. As Chad would say, awesome. I hope you all got value out of that. Let's get our partners to provide some more value. Hi, Yi. How are you?
Hello, my name is Yi Lin. I work for Reliant. I sell electricity, okay, not the football ticket, okay?
Oh,
Not the
what? Not the football tickets.
Because some people.
Got jokes today.
That was cute. Okay, yesterday, 2 agents refer me. One agent, daughter, going to Austin, so I just want to let you know, we don't cover Austin, we don't cover, Montgomery City, Woodland, College Station, okay, but we do cover Dallas, okay? Another agent, send me a referral, it's like, oh, the customer is going to move in tomorrow. When I call, it's too late. So the timing to do referral, I think the best timing for is about 5 days. Because like sometimes holiday, like Center Point, like Sunday, like Memorial Day, Center Point is closed, they're not going to turn on the electricity for you. Sometimes we need to check the customer ID, like 5% of the time we need to check their ID. Like yesterday, I had the customer send the ID like before the holiday, but then get denied because her social security number is not in the system. So it's after 2 days and then after 2 weekend day. And then yesterday we find out then the ID was denied, so then he need to send the passport again. So those like add up 4 or 5 days. So it's better to do it 5 days or 6 days ahead. Not too early. If it's too early, it's not in the customer to-do list yet. So, okay. Thank you.
All right, what you got, Melissa?
Reliant tickets? No, I'm
No.
just kidding.
No.
Yeah, right? I might, you never know. That could be a good contest. Hello, I'm Melissa Lima from downstairs at Patent Title. So just like LaDonna was saying earlier about knowing your area and knowing your neighborhood, who uses the PAT app to do their net sheet? Okay, Brandon and Tanya, 2 people, really? How do y'all do your net sheets? Oh, you got the app. There you go, Robin. Welcome back. So when you're doing the net sheet for your seller, on the right-hand side, there's templates. If you scroll all the way through those templates, you'll see one that's actually like a community report. And what that's going to give you, I took a screenshot of Linda Day's, because I was sitting next to her. She has a listing. 2 Turtle Creek Manor, Sugar Land, Texas. So what I did is I put that address when I was doing a net sheet, and it gave me the conveniences in a 3-mile radius. So there's a gym 0.7 miles away. There's a gas station 0.8 miles away. There's a Starbucks 1.5 mile away. There's a supermarket 1.7 miles away. It all lists all the convenience across the top. Then it goes into your schools nearby. And that's huge. Like LaDonna was saying, know your neighborhood. If someone comes in and says, oh, I love this home, what schools is it zoned to? And you're like, I don't know. You don't know? You know, it tells you it's Walker Station Elementary. It's Sartisha Middle School, whatever that is. And hey, I live in Pearland, Texas, 77584. Stephen F. Austin High School, and it talks about the restaurants, what kind of restaurants. There's 4 fast food restaurants, 3 Indian, 3 coffee shops, 2 sandwich shops, 2 museums. This is a great tool, you guys. So I see 3 people in here using the PAT app to do their net sheets. Use this for community reports as well, because then you can print it out. And then what do? When you have a listing or open house, you print them out and you say, hi, welcome to my house. By the way, look at all the places. It's zoned to this school and this school. Did you know there's a bubble tea 0.2 miles away? And they're going, damn, if they're not going to buy that house, they're going to use you to help them buy another house, right? Okay, so I got one more thing. There's a fun fact. With over 150 businesses inside, the Empire State Building has its own zip code. 10118. There you go. I'm here when you need me. And obviously you guys need me because there's 3 people that are doing this and there's so much more that I can help with. So
Awesome. Absolutely.
Next time.
Yeah.
I gotta give time to this wonderful guy.
All right, Ed.
Good to see you.
All right, Ed, come on up, buddy. Appreciate you. All right, let's see what you got today for us.
What'd you call me? Odor King? I've been called worse. My name is Ed Camp. My company is Hygienitech Solutions. I added 2 words, hygiene and technology, and thought, hey, I can come up with the name of a company that's really hard to spell. Okay, never mind. I do odor and mold removal. However, I'm gonna step back because what a perfect segue talking about pricing. I got a question for you. You got a listing agreement. You did all your work. The house is priced $600,000. You go walk in that house and they smoke for the past 10 years. What are you pricing it at? Don't everybody answer at once.
President low to sell.
What are you doing? Answer me.
Opening the windows.
Are you buying 40 plug-in deodorizers?
Oh, probably.
I was in a house Monday. Yeah, Memorial Day, 18 plug-in deodorizers. That didn't remove the smell of tobacco. It masked it. How many of y'all have plug-in deodorizers in your house?
We actually did limited vinegar, like a crock pot, and that helped with the other.
A plug-in deodorizer, if you put a house plant next to a plug-in deodorizer, it's going to start leaning because it's choking to death. There are 3,000 carcinogens in one plug-in deodorizer. It's a hormone disruptor and it causes lung cancer. It's the #1 cause of cancer in home. My company creates healthy homes. I do odor removal and I do mold. And just this year, I got mold certified. And the reason I became mold certified is I'm used as a 3rd pair of eyes by realtors to send me their mold reports. Do y'all know how to read a mold inspection? It's so important. I get calls every day from a realtor. Hey, there's black mold on the air vent. What should I do? You know, run. Really? No, clean it. You get a mold inspection on a house that you're about to close and it has 3,000 mold spores. What are you telling your clients? 3,000. Mold inspectors and mold remediation companies have a saying, mold is gold, because you're going to think 3,000 and you're going to think, okay, this house has a problem, it needs remediation, right? No. If I get a mold inspection report and I see 3,000 mold spores, you know what that tells me? That tells me there's no water leak. It tells me that house is never flooded. It tells me they might have house plants. It tells me their air ducts need cleaning. Doesn't need remediation. I had a house 1.7 million in Katy in February. Realtor had the inspection report. He showed it to me. We're closing Friday. What do I do? I looked at the mold inspection and the mold inspector did an air test in the attic, did an air test in the inner wall, and did an air test underneath the sink. He went looking for trouble. He went looking for trouble. The inner wall, he went to non-air conditioned areas, and it turned out that this inspector recommended a remediation company that gave them a remediation report for $9,000. The interesting thing about that inspector was his suite was H and the remediation company was suite I on the same address. A lot of these mold inspectors have connections with remediation companies. Mold is gold. It's fear. It's fear-based. The majority of mold tests that I see, clean the air ducts. If the house, you can become educated. I teach a 2-hour CE class. I teach about 1 class a week where I teach you how to read a mold inspection. It's so important. I have a cheat sheet right here. Let me give you a little bit on this. 1,500 to 3,000 spores. Kind of a gray area because mold spores develop quickly. A dusty home. 3,000 to 10,000 spores. remediation might be necessary, but you have to find the water source. Could be underneath a sink. Could be in the bathroom. The water sources in houses are bathrooms and kitchens. So, or in laundry rooms. So when I get a mold report and I see that they've done a mold spore count in an area where there's water source, okay. Let's look at the bedrooms. Let's look at the living areas. But if you're getting into the 25,000 mold spore count, then you got to identify the source. I get mold reports, probably 5 out of every 6 that I get. In a panic, Aspergillus is in every home. Every home. Penicillium aspergillus is not black mold. You know, black mold is, it's Stachybotrys. That's black mold. I have only seen Stachybotrys twice, and both of those homes, it was a foreclosure. So it was boarded up. There was a water leak. It wasn't taken care of, and it develops over time. So what I am an honest pair of eyes on a mold report. I'm getting certified by the state. I've already been mold educated. I've been told to get mold certified because I can write a certificate, a state certificate. There are underwriters that want a certificate. So if they get a mold report that says 400 mold spores, do they know? Do they know it could just be a dusty house, or it could be a clean house? Actually, 400 would be a very clean house. No, they still want a certified mold inspector to write a certificate of clearance for an underwriter. So that's the only reason I'm getting. I'm not becoming a mold inspector. I do mold treatments. However, I also do air testing in homes because people like to know that they're in a healthy home. So how are you going to price that $600,000 house that smells like tobacco? Come on, somebody.
Find a smoker.
I had a house, my very first house. I was in mortgage for 19 years. I'm past president of the Mortgage Bankers Association, past president of the Mortgage Brokers Association. I went from dealing with underwriters to dealing with mold. It's the same damn thing. I like the mold better. First house I ever did was in Baytown. And I'm telling this guy what I can do, and I'm telling the realtors what I can do, and I set my system up. And guy smoked in his house for 35 years. And I said, I'll be back 7 o'clock in the morning. I pull up my car and there's the realtor and there's the buyer. He had to get out of his house. And there's the realtor and his listing agent, but there was the buyer and the buyer's agent. And I'm not sure, you know, I know what my chemical could do, but a house that thick, 30 some odd years of a smoker in it, I'm like, okay, y'all wait out here and I'm going to go check it out. So I'm going in the front door and I'm thinking, I'm going to find the back door. And if it still smells like tobacco, I'm just going to get the hell out of here. Anyway, everybody came in the house and the contract was signed, full price offer right there. And I asked the seller, I said, what did your realtor tell you you were going to have to reduce your price? He said about $15,000. I charged him $950 to remove the smell of tobacco in that home. It's a glamorous job. Last week I did 6 apartments where a skunk walked through the breezeway. I got a mold house in Pearland to do right after here. But the thing is, if a house has an odor, it's not a healthy home because an odor is an off-gassing of something that's a bacteria, whether it's cats or dogs or curry is big around here, right?
Why'd you look at me when he does?
Curry. I actually,
I'm just kidding. I'm junior.
I had a house the other day. It's like, what's this smell? It smells awful. It's like, that's curry. No, it doesn't. Chicken masala. I smell it. I want to chew on the cabinets. But everything is about sight and smell. It doesn't matter where you go, whether you're walking into someone's home or you're walking into a hotel room or a restaurant, everything is sight and smell, not location, location, location. But when you're pricing a home and everybody has dogs and cats, and there are people who are allergic to cats. And my process in 3 hours can create a healthy home by removing mold spores, dander, allergens, bacteria, viruses, and odors. And you can leave food out during the process of during my process, and it's not harmful. It's EPA, FDA, USDA approved. I'm not going into a toxic environment with toxic chemicals. It gets if you're listing a house and somebody smokes in the house, I always say, let me have it for 3 hours. Let me get it to a point where buyers can walk in. And then if they need another treatment, once everything is moved out, I'll do that treatment for free. But the main thing is, you have a buyer, you find a house, you walk in that house, and all of a sudden, they have an allergy or there's a smell or something. You move on to the next one. When they put so much, hope into that house, it's an easy process and I'm not expensive. So let me be your problem solver. This class that I teach, it's been dubbed the best CE class that they've ever taken by some of the top realtors in the greater Houston area. Number one, because I make it fun. But I talk about the first hour is you being healthy in your own home. And the second hour is basically learning about mold and becoming educated and how you can become a mold inspector and be able to squelch any type of big concern that people have because they hit the panic button when it comes to mold. Anyway, any questions?
Or are you gonna be around here that we can, are you gonna be around?
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
I got two questions. One is how much is it for you to come in?
Standard fee and really, I find that I like to find the threshold of pain and stay under it. I'm usually about 45 cents a square foot, depending on the square footage. If it's over 3,000, I can come down a little bit. If it's less, I'm usually about 45 cents. Just use that as a guide. You schedule one here in this office and I'll be here.
That's what I was gonna mention.
Yes, absolutely. I've done, first of all, about 5 Keller Williams offices, I've done CE classes in multiple times. And it took me 4 months to get, to be here today. So if you want to schedule one, I'd be happy to come out. It's free. You get a copy of my book. I wrote this book, Your Home is Making You Sick During COVID when everybody was quarantined. Indoor air is 200 times more polluted than outdoor air. We should not have been quarantined in our homes. We should have been outside during a pandemic. So I came up with this book. It's on the best giveaway list on Amazon, but you attend the class, you get a free book. We cover a lot of what's in the book. I also give you my secret weapon, and I call that my third child because I love it more than my other two. I didn't have to pay for college. And you get a copy of the spore count cheat sheet. Anyway, I'll be around for a little while. I didn't know I had to wait to eat, so I'm going to be here. Anyway, thank you.
All right, guys. Well, we'll keep it short and sweet. Make it a good one. Make it powerful. Enjoy your day. See you online. Thank you for joining us.